Hello and welcome to Forgotten Frights. I'm Josh and I'm sitting here with Adam.
Hey.
Today on the podcast we are reviewing the 1983 horror film Curtains, directed by Richard Ciupka and Peter Simpson, written by Robert Guzza Jr. and starring John Vernon, Samantha Eggar, Linda Thorson, Ann Ditchburn, Lynne Griffin, Leslie Donaldson, and Deborah Burgess. Here's the trailer.
Behind every curtain, someone is waiting. Someone is watching. Someone is hiding. What waits behind the curtains is exciting, frightening, sensual, terrifying, and bizarre. Curtains reveal what you expect and what you don't. Curtains, the ultimate nightmare.
All right, there was the terrifying trailer to 1983's Curtains. Adam, what did you think of the ultimate nightmare?
I thought that it was short and to the point, and I think that it moved along pretty good. As far as trailers we've watched, I like it.
Yeah, it was actually, it kind of got through everything. It didn't reveal too much of the story. It didn't have to tell us the plot. I think the trailer itself was shorter than the Farley Productions logo at the beginning that really had a sustained note for like 30 seconds. That was intense.
Yeah.
How's everything going, Adam?
Not bad. How's it going with you?
It's going. This is our second time recording today. Second film we've discussed. On the last episode, we talked about the commonality between the films we've been doing lately, and this one is also a Canadian production. So you've got the hag mask that we saw in the trailer, which has some commonality not with just Ghost Keeper, but with The Comeback that we previously reviewed on this podcast.
Well, it doesn't have commonality with Ghost Keeper.
Yes, and it also has commonality with Ghost Keeper.
How's that?
The music was composed by.
Oh, okay. I thought the mask was in Ghost Keeper.
No, just the person who did the score for this film did the score for that one. I would not be shocked to find that maybe he did the score for The Comeback, but that I don't know for certain. I should have looked that up, but that would require me to do my job as a podcaster.
Yeah, I understand.
Apparently, we're not going to do that. So.
No.
Now the trailer doesn't provide a plot overview, and I think this film is a little wonky that way. I think the plot is a little messy. I don't know how you felt about it overall, but the just kind of overall feelings of how this movie unfolds.
There was one of the movies this movie made me think about was the TV miniseries for It.
Yeah.
You had all these people that were like kind of like separate, and they were kind of like, especially in the beginning, they're like kind of setting up who all these folks are.
Yeah.
And they were all going to meet. Now, granted, they're not like, the Losers Club or anything like that. But, I don't want to get into it too much right away, but it's very, there's a lot of people to keep track of.
Yes. And one of my points of contention is a lot of them look the same.
A lot of them look the same.
It's similar haircuts, similar clothes, similar names.
Yeah,
for me, it was a little bit difficult.
Yeah,
to track, but a very very comebacky, but also a little madhousey. So these films are all kind of, there's this thread of like, people going crazy, actors and actresses.
Little theater of blood too.
Yeah, some theater of blood in there. Yeah, I think I like this film better than The Ghost Keeper.
Me too.
I think there's more. I think obviously higher budget, but I think the visuals are a lot better, and they're more on point because this gets one of the things they show in the trailer is the doll, and I don't think that has any place in this film.
Don't understand the point of the doll,
but I love it. I think it's great. I think that
there's a couple very effective shots with the doll,
and it's just like that's one of we talked on an much earlier episode where I think we probably both agreed, but not everything needs to be explained in a film, and that it's kind of a lost art is to have just weird things that does not need to be referential or to tie back to anything prior.
Yeah.
And this film has a little bit of that going for it. So I liked it. And I, even though there's some sameness with the 6 female leads, I think it's well acted, and I think there's some good, a lot of good actresses and actors in this film. I think it's supported because it's more character driven anyway. So I think that works.
Yes, I agree that the acting was definitely better than Ghost Keeper, but I will also say that there is some acting. There's some very over the top performances in this movie.
I feel like it,
and maybe it plays into the whole like wackadoodle, like people are going crazy and stuff like that too.
Yeah, I think it's almost I think it's difficult because of the types of movies we review. Typically, Forgotten Frights, we want to find older films, less well-known films, right? And I think you can there's kind of a ceiling for the type of acting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I think when I say good acting, I think it's like for what the film is doing. I love Vincent Price, but man, Theater of Blood, he is acting.
Yeah.
He is, but I think that's also, I think that's intentional. I think there's some unintentional, like, for
instance, the first scene when the lady, Sam Sherwood, the lady who goes to she's on stage delivering the monologue.
Is Samantha, is she the older jilted one?
Yeah, she's the one who goes to the mental institution to
yes,
method, but she's doing the monologue on the stage and she's just like acting. She's like going crazy acting. And I was thinking, what if she's the most low-key actress in this movie? And then I started imagining what kind of a movie would that be if she's like the understated one. Everybody else is like acting, like even more.
Well, I think it would be Suspiria. I think if everybody toned it down, this movie would be Suspiria.
Yes.
I think that's just because I think
it plays into my alternate title.
Does it really?
Yes.
I think it's because there is a great film here. I think there is a really good movie in this. Stew.
Isn't it interesting that we picked 2 movies that had some snow, and they're borrowing a lot from other more well-made movies,
well-liked movies.
Yeah. Which I think all movies suffer from that to an extent. You're always going to steal stuff that works. But specifically, there's specific movies where it's like, oh, this is trying to be this movie.
Yes, yeah. I mean, The Shining for me, from Ghost Keeper for sure.
Yeah,
and I saw lots of a lot of movies we just reviewed on the podcast. I saw because The Comeback, obviously, the Vincent Price films, Madhouse, Theater of Blood.
Yeah,
and then what didn't work was the Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. Then I saw shades of that in there. But Peter Cushing doing his thing.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear the taglines?
Aside from the ultimate terror or the ultimate horror, whatever that was?
Let me see if that's even one of the ones I've got. Yeah. That is one of them. That is number 2. But number 1, taglines for 1983's Curtains. Behind every curtain, someone is watching. Something is waiting. Let me try that again. Behind every curtain, someone is watching. ... Something is waiting.
Okay.
I don't.
That's very vague.
Yeah. We'll get to the title, I think, eventually, with curtains being... I think it's curtains for you. I think it's the only thing I can...
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Number 2, The Ultimate Nightmare.
Yeah, that feels familiar for some reason.
That's kind of that is the equivalent of saying, for me, Hammer films, just being like, the scariest movie you'll ever see, your eyes will ever see.
Yeah, it's the spooky, scary movie.
Yeah,
it's
you'll never see anything scarier than Christopher Lee.
right.
And in Frankenstein,
and the Hunchback of Nova Scotia.
The ultimate nightmare. This film is like,
yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
it's so, yeah.
This is my ultimate nightmare, is being trapped in a house with 6 women while I'm doing acting lessons.
Right.
And I have to go murder my lover with a pistol.
Right.
3, the stage is set for the final act. I think that's it, right?
Pretty good.
4, and the final tagline: 6 beautiful girls trying to get ahead. When the curtain falls, 5 will be dead.
Oh, I kind of like that one too.
good.
Yeah.
6 beautiful girls, though I don't like the salacious manner of that. It's just like, 6 beautiful.
There's
girls.
a lot about this movie and that whole the treatment of women that's not great.
Yeah, when I say there's a great movie in here, I don't mean
you don't have to keep
that
qualifying.
part. That part is not.
So that's my favorite part.
I love that part. The beautiful girls. All right, so the plot of Curtains is a film about 6 actresses vying for the lead role in a film called Audra. A killer lurks on the peripherals, murdering the actresses one by one, along with the director. And, so murders are happening. 6 women are vying for this role. And,
A 7th woman comes into the fray.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, she's a 6th woman.
She's the 6th one.
Samantha's the 6th. I think it's 5 initially.
So something, if we're going to get into talking about the movie, one of the things that struck me is, they started. Well, I guess actually you start.
You want me to start? You want to jump into the?
Because I was going to go after. We need to address the her going to the mental institution first.
Well, yeah, we'll start there. So, we open on a psychiatric hospital. Car pulls up. We've got I'm going to put lead, quotes around lead. She's the lead
You're
actress.
talking about
Samantha Sherwood.
Yes, Samantha Sherwood, yep.
She's in the hospital.
Well, first she's approached because she's doing that monologue, and then Jonathan Stryker comes to the playhouse, the stage.
Yes, and Jonathan Stryker is played by
John Vernon.
Yes, very very well known. Just look him up; you guys would know his face immediately
and his voice.
But
he just basically throws it out there to her, like, "Hey, I got, I don't know if he mentions the whole Audra movie or not, but or play. I don't know if Audra's a movie or a play. But then they go to the mental institution together.
Yes, because she wants to be committed, or she is committed, or she wants to be committed.
Basically, they're talking. Yeah, something. They're in the office in the hospital, and she just like starts attacking John Stryker.
Yes, because the psychiatrist guy there is like, "Oh, we're looking forward to seeing you in another film soon."
Yeah,
and then Stryker's like, "Oh, I doubt she'll be in another film soon."
Yeah.
And she like grabs a penknife off the table and turns and is like, "Ah!" Like
she starts to attack
him.
Something I want to point out, and this happens in so many movies. It would be great to see how many movies, but as soon as she attacks him. 2 orderlies just run in from outside, like they're just waiting outside, waiting for something to happen. That happens so much.
And they immediately put her in a straitjacket, and she's like, "I'm crazy."
They're just ready to go. Yeah.
Stryker's like, "Hey, can you give me a minute to talk to this person who just tried to stab me?"
Yeah.
And it's like, I just like, "You think that's a good idea?" And he's like, "Yeah, what's she gonna do? She can't hurt me." And they leave, and then he's like, "Wow, this is great. You're doing like."
Yeah, and they both laugh. Ha ha
ha ha. Yeah, but she's like, I'm researching the role, so I have to pretend to be crazy, so I can actually do the character of Audra. And Stryker's like, "Yeah, you got it." And then like they sent her off. Stryker has agreed to this, for her to be put into the insane asylum,
admitted to the
mental health hospital.
Yep.
Because he's actually planning on auditioning somebody younger, because Samantha Sherwood is getting older.
Yes.
And so he plans on getting somebody younger while she has committed herself.
Yeah.
So just very like an underhanded.
Yeah, he's a real something or other.
And we find that as the movie goes on, just every interaction is like, "Hey, can I have sex with you?" like there's a lot of that going on. Whereas like, "I'm going to get you all to my house."
Yeah.
To audition for this role. presumptively I to use them. More or less.
Yeah. So. At one point, like the first or second visit when Stryker comes to visit Samantha in the hospital, she's just like, I'm really kind of having a hard time with this, and he's like, just be crazy, don't worry about it. Jeez. What's like he's so like nonchalant about it, and then there's these examples where she's interacting with people who are really having a hard time in this hospital, and she's starting to degrade because she's just surrounded by people who are mentally unstable.
And there's also just lots of degrading shots of people who are. The film is like, this person's mentally unstable. At one point, a lady who's clearly supposed to be mentally unwell opens the door, and she's just like, boogie, 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 boogie.
Like tickling her?
Yes. Yeah. And it's just like, what?
Yeah. And honestly, it's like they're just like all kind of like able to just interact with each other. It's like, I feel like movies have always done that.
They have. There is, knowing some of the histories of mental health institutions and knowing how some of the most controversial ones had just an open population of people all like mingling together, those being the worst examples. Typically it's like really gross stuff. It looks like they have their like stuff put together at the institution that is still just like whatever.
Just throw her in the population.
Who cares? We saw One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's probably like that anyway. So then she discovers that Stryker has done this. He's set her up so that he can go just audition younger people, and she's like, I'm going to break out of here and make him pay. And she does both of those things.
Yep.
And then we cut to Amanda Toother. I'm not sure how to do. But it's one of the actresses, and she's auditioning her attempt. She's planning on auditioning for Audra, but she has a dream that she sees a doll in the road. And she stops her car, gets out.
Don't we see the doll with... There's a long extended shot first of a girl like taking a bath, and then she's putting makeup on, and she's walking around her house. And then there's like outside of the window, there's like a burglar type guy.
Yeah.
And then she's kind of laying in bed reading a book or something, or a magazine. And then the guy like comes to the window and he attacks her.
Okay, yeah.
And she's just like, she's screaming and screaming and screaming. Then he like pulls up now this attack scene goes on for at least 30 to 45 seconds where she thinks she's going to get raped. And then he pulls up the ski mask and it's her boyfriend.
Yes.
And she's like, I love you.
Yes,
and it's just like, what?
Oh, yes.
But I just to add to it, that this is the first effective shot of the doll too, because it pans away from them kind of making out on the bed, and it pans to the left, and then you first get a glimpse of that doll, and it kind of reminded me of Jaws, where Richard Dreyfuss is down by the boat, and the head just kind of comes up at that certain time. Yeah. Like, the doll freaked me out.
Yeah.
Like, the way that it panned over is just like, and it's like frowning. It's like, yeah.
It is still, I think it's a weird addition to the film, but yeah, I think most, if not all of the shots of the doll are effective.
Yeah. But then
then we get to the dream. I also must say that early on in the beginning of the film, they just got a hamster add-on update for Minecraft, and my daughter really wanted it, so we were looking at all the hamsters that are now available on Minecraft. One has big chubby cheeks, so he's adorable.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
So then I turned and I was like, creepy doll. So we.
I see.
So yeah, she has a dream. There's a doll on the road. She gets out, goes to, I guess, remove the doll from the road, but it grabs her.
Yeah.
And while she does that, somebody else jumps in the car, and then runs her over.
And then she wakes up.
And then she gets killed. Yes.
She gets stabbed by the hag lady.
Sees the doll. Yep.
And the thing about it is, so also we should point out that Samantha has broken out of the institution in the meantime, and while we're meeting these ladies, she's burning their photos in the fire.
Yes.
So she knows.
There was also an odd shot too, where like she left and there was a guy at the end of the hallway. Do you remember that at the beginning of the film? Kind of Stryker and her kind of step out and they're like, "Haha, you're just gonna go play this crazy person."
Yeah.
And there's like a dude at the end of the hallway. It was a very like what am I thinking of? What's that film with the tall man?
Phantasm?
Phantasm. It was very Phantasm. I just don't know what I couldn't figure out by the end of it.
I don't even remember.
He looked like he had big chubby cheeks and he was eating
you're
hamster
thinking,
pellets.
No, you're thinking of Minecraft again.
All right.
Yeah.
No, but actually I have no idea who that was supposed to be. I think it's just like creepy doctor guy. I don't know.
I don't know, but I also wonder, as she's burning these photos, like we meet the girl who has the dream, and then she dies immediately.
Yes.
Why do we ever even meet her?
I think she's set up to be one of the 6, and then Samantha,
takes her spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that doesn't explain it, but I think that's...
And then the doll isn't...
It was also written in the script. So then they filmed that.
The doll isn't always, I don't think the doll is at every murder.
No. It's just like a weird omen.
For some of them.
Yeah. And then other ones, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, they just they lost the doll halfway
That's
through the shoot.
Dr. Terror's House of Horror. Why did that happen? I don't know, because the words were there, and I had to put those to visual. All right, so the next day, the other 5 women auditioning for the part of Audra arrive at Stryker's rural New England mansion. We have Patty O'Connor, who's a stand-up comedian. We have an actress, Brooke Parsons. We have a dancer, Lauren Summers. We have a musician, Tara DeMillo, and an ice skater, Christy Burns. And the women are met by the caretaker of the mansion, Matthew. Samantha, she shows up during dinner. This obviously upsets everybody, and Stryker's like, shit.
Well, there was a scene before she shows up where the girls are all kind of like sitting around the dinner table talking. And again, they're just like talking about what they would do to get this part. You know? And the one lady's like, I would go down on him to get this part. And then Stryker walks in the room and he says, and I quote, "That shouldn't be necessary, but I'll keep it in mind."
Okay. Thanks, Stryker.
Yeah.
All right.
It's very necessary as we get to know who Stryker really is.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then he said, if anybody else wants to make lurid comments, I'm going to be standing in the hallway to walk in and say some additional stuff. So please. Yeah, because he ends up being, he's creep-tastic, but then part of it is, it's so weird. Like with the, when he has sex with the one girl and then he's like smoking a cigarette in bed, and I think isn't it Samantha who walks in and he's like smoking a cigarette and he's just looking at her like, yeah.
I think so, yes.
He's just the worst.
Yeah.
So but he's mad because Samantha's there, she's broken out, and she means to still audition. I don't know, she's just there to like annoy him at this point, just to be like, I know what you were up to. And
she's really, of all of the actresses, she's the one who's just like, I will get this part. Like she's very
so much like Ghost Keeper, we have a snowstorm that kind of not forces them all in there necessarily, but they're all, that evening there's like a snowstorm and they're all kind of battening down. We're getting to know the characters. Matthew and Tara have sex with each other. Matthew the caretaker
in the jacuzzi. Yep.
In the jacuzzi. And then I have Stryker and Christy.
Yes.
This synopsis says assaults Christy.
I think he's probably assaulting all the women, like in the way that he's going about it.
Gotcha. So it's more so like Stryker, because Stryker is manipulative.
Yes.
And he's manipulating them into, and he's also, he's abusing them because he's using his position as a director to abuse them.
Yes. I think it's also important at this moment, before we get too far into it, that I gotta get her name here.
Well, that's my thing with like Christy is I'm trying to remember who is who.
So Patty Connor, who is the comedian girl, she I
remember for sure.
So every time that we see the comedian girl, she's like very, very 1980s comedian. So not terribly funny. She's at one point she's got a couple of puppets.
Okay, yeah.
She's got a shtick. The stand-up routine on stage is pretty bad. It's just so she's she's just being goofy in every possible scene. Mm-hmm. So I want to make sure we're all aware of that too.
And then we've got, while all of that is happening in the evening, an unseen figure enters the tool shed, grabs a sickle, and begins to sharpen it.
Then it's the next day with the ice skating scene?
Yes, and then we go to the ice skating scene. Patty, I think at one point, is like, I've got a stabbing sensation in my stomach. Like, that's not a joke. And then she pulls out a knife. Trying to think of a good...
I think she said, I would kill to get this part.
And then Stryker walked in and said, you don't have to, but I'll keep it.
I'll keep it in mind. Unnecessary right now.
So next morning we have the ice skating scene, which I think is probably the most well-known scene from the film.
Yeah.
This is the one I see in lots of recaps, maybe Canadian cinema recaps. I don't know. But when I see references to 80s horror films, this one comes up a lot. Christy is out kind of ice skating to like a real jam. She is really getting whatever that song she plays on the loudspeaker is like. Yep. It's peak 80s.
Yep.
But she notices a small hand protruding out of the snow, and that's when she finds the doll.
The boombox stopped working, so she went over, and then there's a doll. The doll is kind of sticking out of the snow.
Then the masked killer appears with a sickle, and is just kind of like skating across the ice, and she's wearing the hag mask.
Yes. And
I think it's a very unsettling imagery because it's full light of day. Mm-hmm. She's in like a black dress on ice skates, and then it just has a full-on hag mask, which, as I mentioned in the comeback, it's like that mask is really creepy.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think it's a very effective shot with this kind of like horrible monster coming across the ice with a sickle. Mm-hmm. And then attacks Christy, and she is able to subdue the attacker momentarily and then flees into the woods.
Yep.
When she's sitting by a tree, then the murderer comes from around. I don't even how would you describe that?
Just takes the scythe or the sickle around the tree and cuts her head.
Cuts her head off.
Yeah.
And then there ends Christy.
Yes.
Anything you want to add about that?
No.
We then go to Stryker, who has he humiliates Samantha during the group audition.
He does. He's like, he makes her put the hag mask on. So Stryker has the hag mask in this scene, and he says, "Put on the hag mask and seduce me," is what he says. This dude is horny as hell. He just cannot stop. But he's like, "Seduce me with your eyes and your mouth," and so she's wearing the hag mask and.
Yeah.
He just rips it off her head and like, you're terrible. You're not doing a good job.
He's also got ice skates on, a doll under his arm, and he's got a sickle.
Yeah,
he's like, listen.
Yeah, with a sandwich board that says, "I'm not the murderer."
Has anybody seen Christy?
He's got a tattoo on his forearm that says "red herring." But so she's, you're right. He humiliates her. Yep. And I will say too that Stryker and Sherwood, those characters, they have like I forget the lady in House on Haunted Hill, but they have like a Vincent Price and his wife from House on Haunted Hill. They have same kind of energy. They're just like arguing a lot. In fact, in one scene, they're arguing, and one of the girls go to the room and they're like, "Is everything okay?" And they're like, "Yes, we're just acting." And it's like literally, they're such actors that they just act even when they're in a room by themselves. It's just everybody's acting.
And you say red herring too, because it does. There's a lot of that going on in this movie. But like the fact that he humiliates her, but he's also like, "I have a hag mask." Remember that previous scene you all just saw?
Remember
like,
the one you just saw?
It's very clear they're trying to set it up like, "Oh, it's confusing. Who's doing the murdering?" I'm sorry, I just lost my notes. Okay, so then Matthew gets drunk. And he goes to find Christy, who's been missing, and he just rides away into the woods on a snowmobile. He's like, "Christy!" And just hauls off into the woods. It's good. Yeah. It's very...
when he's on the snowmobile?
Yeah.
Yeah. At first, I'm like, is that... it was the caretaker, but he's just like drinking a giant bottle.
So then Stryker gives Patty an audition and is just like, "You suck," and runs her down for being a bad actress.
At one point, she says during that whole thing, she's like, "Oh, this is what it feels like to be bombing," and I'm like, "You think you're bombing just now?"
Yeah, she's like, "I have a very successful comedy career."
Yeah,
with jokes such as, "Oh, I've got a stabbing feeling in my stomach," and "Here, need a hand," and then she's got Christy's hand. I didn't kill her though.
But yeah, then so she's been goofy nonstop, and then all of a sudden she's just like acting, like she just goes into full acting mode. Like,
do we get a sense that she's like, this is her Robin Williams? She's trying to do. She's like, I'm gonna be serious. This is my Patch Adams. This is my awakenings.
I mean, that's more that I can get behind that more than anything else they've shown me in the movie, because she's just a goofball Dave Coulier type.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden she's like, why do you not think I can act? And it's like, because you're a goofy Dave Coulier
She
type.
is. You mentioned It, the miniseries. Her comedy is to the level of
Harry Anderson.
In that film. Not Harry Anderson's funny. His
Right.
stand-up is funny. His magic is funny.
Yeah.
But the comedy Harry Anderson is doing in the It miniseries is the equivalent of what she's doing in this film. She's on that level.
There's scenes at the comedy club at the very beginning where she's like, I'm going to go on a casting call, and the crowd's like, ha, ha, ha. Like, what? She hasn't even made a joke yet. She just said what she's doing.
In fact, her comedy is on the level of Pennywise when he's like, we got Prince Albert in a can, we'll let him out. It's like that level of like, oof.
Yeah.
So...
But then he's a little bit like, pretty good. I see a little bit of Audra in you when she finally like starts to act.
Yeah, it's because she gets mad, and he's like, cool. That's more like it. So now we've got Brooke, who discovers Chrissy's head in the toilet.
Before that, we gotta hit the boob touching scene.
Oh, Tara and Lori. Is it Lorian or Lori? I think it's Lori.
I think it is like Lorian or something.
Lorian, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're rehearsing.
Yeah, but so it's fun. I don't know if you caught this, but Brooke is standing there with a like kind of a negligee on, and Lauren, she's slowly unbuttoning the negligee, and then she reveals one bare boob.
Yeah.
And then she's shakily like about to touch the boob.
Yeah.
And then from below the shot, Stryker's head comes up. He's like, no, no, no. So he's like kneeling on the floor. Like, where is he coming from?
Well, that makes sense. Stryker is.
He's yelling at her boob.
This is not the under boob shot I was after.
No, no, no. All wrong. So it's supposed to be a butt.
He is. Well, he went from just ripping Batty down. He's like, you are the worst. And you're interfering with my boob shot. I shall return.
I've got places to be.
No. That's the wrong angle of that boob. That is so ridiculous.
So dumb.
So then Brooke finds Christy's head in the toilet bowl.
Yes.
This is very the comeback where she's like, she alerts Stryker and them, and it's like the head's in the bowl, and they come back and it's not.
It's so 1970s. Like, every woman like, now pat you on the head and I'll put you to bed.
And then Stryker's like, I will use this moment to seduce you and have sex with you.
Yeah.
And then we've got some of the girls are suspecting that she was murdered. Christy was, perhaps.
Yeah.
So many notes. And then Lorian is dancing in her room upstairs. So I think we have a few things going on here where we have Stryker seducing, and then we have Tara being. Is it Tara? No, Lorian is murdered because the killer sneaks in and stabs her.
Yes.
So then Brooke and Stryker have had sex, and I think, isn't this when Samantha walks in?
And then just, guns them down.
Yes, just shoots them both.
Yeah.
But I think am I misremembering that? Is he not smoking a cigarette? And he's like, yeah.
I mean, you're probably just thinking of his overall aura.
Because I feel like Samantha looked at him and he looked at her and he's like, check it out. I got underboob chick in bed. Can you believe it?
Yes.
Yeah. They fall from. Oh, he said. Yeah, I took a bit from Patty's comedy. I'm a real boob.
Well, then she pulls out RoboCop's gun and she's just like, just like they both just smash out the bat.
I'm a real boob, and then she just unloaded 6 rounds directly point blank range. So they fall from the second floor, and Stryker Well, so they get shot in such a way that Brooke is like in front of Stryker, and they go flying through the window.
Yep.
And then,
I think I didn't see this happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if Stryker grabbed Brooke on the way out, just because he's just a shit in every
he
aspect.
threw her in front
He's
of
like,
him.
yeah,
Like,
if I gotta die, you gotta go too.
Tara subsequently discovers the bodies of Brooke and Stryker and Matthew as well, who went off into the woods and is now dead as well. She tries to run away. The cars are inoperable. It's in this. Has that really eerie scene too. It's in the trailer, but she's trying to get the car to work and closes the hood. And as she's running by, the hag's face appears in not the back seat, but the light comes on, and she's like, it's like through the car, through the front windshield into the through the back windshield, and you see the kind of the hag's face illuminated by light, and that's pretty creepy. So then she is hiding in the shed, and then she sees Lorian's body. With the mannequins, and then is pursued by the killer.
Oh, the prop shed. Yeah.
She then hides she fights off the killer multiple times and hides in a ventilation duct.
Mm-hmm. And I thought in this moment, I'm like, oh, she must be the one who survives to the end.
Last girl, because she just it's a Jamie Lee Curtis situation.
Yeah,
she's kind of finding everybody's body. You're like, oh, Tara's the final girl. But as she's trying to get out of the duct, she's pulled back in and murdered with an axe. And then her voice is echoing through the ventilation shaft in the shed.
Yeah. And I will say too that the prop shed or whatever that is with all the mannequins and stuff. I mean, that was very. I saw some through the research, like people like connected this with maybe some Italian giallo movies, and I feel like that part specifically made me think very much like, oh yeah, that's a very well shot scene.
Yeah, I think that giallo would be that's the Suspiria coming through, right? That's So after this, we find Samantha and Patty are in the kitchen, and they're kind of they're discussing the goings on. I don't think they, for whatever reason, have no idea that everybody and their mom has been stabbed, shot, decapitated. Murder, but then as they're talking, Samantha talks about Stryker in the past tense.
Yeah.
And then Patty's like, what do you mean was? And Samantha's like, oh, don't you know? I shot them 6 times with a gun, and they're dead now. And then Patty reveals that she also did some killing, and her killing was everybody else with a hag mask on.
Right.
Because she was a murderer.
Right.
Yep. And then she takes out a knife and she says... she says something. I don't think it's super important.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
That do you feel a pain in your stomach? I don't know what that joke was, but do you feel a stabbing pain in your body? And then she stabbed her multiple times. It was also, did you know, much like the knife from The Golden Child that was in the shadow, this was also the knife from Ghost Keeper, and it also had mayonnaise on it and lettuce from that lady sandwich. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to the last. That is a reference to the previous podcast episode.
It'll be worth it.
It'll be worth it. Don't worry. Much better than the stabbing pain in my stomach joke that I've lost track of halfway through. So then, after Samantha has been stabbed brutally and murdered, we cut to Patty is now in the mental institution, and she's doing a monologue from Audra, I would imagine, and it just kind of pants back, and everybody's like, it's theater of blood. You just have kind of like a bunch of people like laying around in chairs, not paying attention, and she's like, see, and they're like, go back to the comedy routine, right. And she's like, okay, anyway, I just flew in from Houston, and boy, are my arms tired. And that's it. That's the movie ends at that point. Anything you want to add, Adam, to this film?
We covered it pretty good.
I think we did. I think we got through just about everything. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we have some trivia. I will be answering some questions. Adam will be asking them, and then we'll get to our likes, dislikes, and alternate titles for the film as well. So we'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to Forgotten Frights. I'm Josh and I'm sitting here with Adam.
Hey, what's up?
And we are about to do the 5-question trivia for 1983's Curtains. You know, Adam, one thing I forgot to mention is that there's kind of a series of wipes in the film as well, kind of very George Lucas Star Wars wipes that are curtain inspired.
Oh.
Yeah, we have lots of curtains opening, which maybe that's the reason for the title of the film, I think. The bad pun, it's curtains.
Or just the fact that it's like theater.
Yeah, and I think it's theater, but curtains also means to die. It's curtains on that person, so it's like, so you have that. And then they're like, oh, let's also add curtains for our scene wipes.
I think it's confusing. I don't mind the doll aspect of the movie, but I do think it's confusing that
I still don't understand it, but I like it.
Even the poster, it has like the hag mask as the curtains and it's opening up and the doll is front and center.
Yeah, like it'd be an evil doll movie.
Like I wish I would have done a timestamp to see when the last time we even saw the doll was.
Yeah.
Like it was halfway through the movie?
Does she see it when she's going through and finding when Tara finds everybody's bodies?
Maybe.
Okay.
But it's not like grr, it's just like there.
There was in a behind the scenes vignette. The original plan with the wipes was just Stryker's face, and he was like, they were just doing wipes of him, but he was like, but it was just going across the screen. It was just his like creepy face. They decided they weren't gonna go with that. And then one more thing before we get to trivia, which is that I have to point this out because I just watched it. The film Dances with Wolves has Maury Chaykin. Is that it? Shaken in it? Or Maury Shaken? He's in this film briefly, and I believe he's an agent, but he's sitting in a room and he's answering a phone call and he's like making faces at the one girl. Do you remember this scene?
No.
Okay. He's a well-known actor. He's been in a lot of stuff. I mostly know him from Dances with Wolves.
Okay.
As Kevin Costner before he goes to his outpost during the Civil War, he stops and there's Maury Chaykin is in a room and is giving him his orders. And he's clearly, the guy is going crazy in this outpost. And at the very end of it, as Kevin Costner is leaving, Maury Chaykin stands up and he says, he's been referencing that Kevin Costner is like a knight. And he's giving him his knightly orders, like a very Arthurian thing, because he's just like, he's losing his cool. So as Kevin Costner's leaving, he stands up and he says, "Sir Knight, I've just pissed in my pants and nobody can do anything about it." But I saw him in the movie. I was like, I love that guy. He's a character actor. He's been in tons of stuff.
What a deep dive, or what a yeah.
It's one of my favorite scenes of that movie too, because it's just so bizarre. And then Kevin Costner like rides away on his cart with a guy, and then we go back to Maury Chaykin, who then shoots himself in the head while looking out the window. It's very
great.
It's a weird little vignette in that movie. Or a little, just, I don't even know, a little like side story that it just like the whole story is told within like 5 minutes of what this guy is doing here at this place. Very strange. But,
wow.
But anyway, so we want to get to trivia. So Adam, you can go ahead and take it away. You've got the 5 questions. I've got the answers.
Well, actually, I have 4 questions.
That's
so that. So it kind of throws off our situation. So I think you have to get 1 out of 4 to tie what I did.
What doesn't help is I just said 5 questions like 35 times.
That's right. Well,
okay, so 4-question trivia. And if I win this, I can choose the next 2 films.
Correct.
Okay.
So question number 1 is a true or false question.
And I have to get better than 2.
I think 1 would tie and 2 would...
Well, you had 2 on the last one, so I'd have to get 3.
Well, yeah, but I only have 4 questions.
Well, let's just say 2. That's fine. I'll go with it.
All right. Linda Thorson, who played Brooke Parsons in this movie.
Oh, boy. All right.
Replaced Selena Gomez, who had originally had that role.
Okay. Is that a true or false?
Yes.
Who's Selena Gomez? Thoughts? All right. I'm going to go ahead and say that's true.
It is true. The backstory with that is Selene Lomez.
Okay.
The backstory on that is that Selene Lomez claimed that the director fired her because she wouldn't do a nude scene. and the director claims that she just wasn't a good actress.
So the director was literally Stryker.
Kind of.
Weird. So the director's like,
so then they got Linda Thorson, who's like, yeah, I'll show one boob.
what? That was a nude scene. It was one boob.
That's right.
So the director was like, I will direct this film because it's about me.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Creeps aplenty.
Number 2, small time Canadian comedians were enlisted to write jokes for Lynne Griffin's stand-up routine.
No.
You saying false?
Oh, man. Those are really bad. It's 83. True.
It is false.
Oh, man.
She wrote her own
Okay,
jokes.
because here's the thing. Is that it seems like, you said small time. It just seems like people would come in and be like,
small time Canadian comedians.
because they're polite and crappy, those jokes.
Right.
So they just seemed,
Yeah.
excuse me. So she wrote them herself.
She wrote them herself.
Okay, that makes perfect sense, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which of these 2 actors were first considered for the role of Stryker? Werner Herzog or Klaus Kinski?
That's insane.
It is one of those 2.
Klaus Kinski.
That is correct.
Yeah. Because we're...
And I can
Werner
totally
Herzog,
see it.
Yeah, I can see it too. Werner Herzog wasn't. I don't think he was doing any acting at that point. I think he was just doing
Directing.
Yeah.
So you got 2 out of 4 so far.
Excellent. So we're
Or
tied.
2 out of 3. Excuse me.
2. Yes. So, and we're tied. So that
We are
means we
tied.
both can choose a film right now, not unless I can get the last one right.
So this last question is it's an A, B, or C.
Okay.
And it deals with the main actress in the movie.
Okay.
What film did Samantha Eggar star in previously? And these are all David Cronenberg films.
Whoa.
Was it A, Rabid, B, Shivers, or C, The Brood?
I only know one of those films, and that's The Brood. I just don't remember anything about it. I know there's a Brood, and I know Cronenberg directed it. I'll just go with a Rabbit. A.
That is incorrect. It is The Brood.
It was The Brood, and
Yeah.
I don't remember. I kind of remember the lead guy.
She played the lead lady in the movie, and I remember that movie being
That's the movie that ends where he's like in a pool.
no that
Or is he
one
in a pool, or is that a different movie?
That's a different movie.
Then I don't.
The
remember
Brood
this
is it's really
I don't
good,
remember
but
that.
it's messed up. That final scene is messed up.
one. Okay,
It's Cronenberg.
Yeah.
So you got 2 out of 4.
it's like James Woods with like arms growing out of his butt or something.
Kind of,
Okay.
yeah. I think he does make a
Does he?
comes in for one scene, smoking a cigarette.
So I got 2.
2 out of 4.
2 out of 4.
Yep.
So that means we both choose a movie for next time,
Okay.
and the movie you have chosen.
If we're going right here, right now, I want to watch Q, the Winged Serpent.
Okay, and I would like to watch one of our previously chosen films, which would be the Amicus, The House That Dripped Blood.
We've never done that one?
We have not.
Nice.
We were going to. We were going to do that one in The House on Haunted Hill.
Okay.
But I would like to do The House That Dripped Blood, and I would still like to save, whenever we get a Halloween release this year, we should do House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price.
Yeah.
And talk about that film. I think
Tremendous.
I do have a couple additional things, and Adam, you had an alt title. Did you want to do the alt title for this film?
Yeah, I had a couple alt titles. One was pretty low-hanging fruit, but then I had The Casting Castle.
The Casting Castle is actually pretty good.
Yeah, but it's also, oily and creepy.
It is. I think I think Curtains is a bad title.
Yeah. The one that I liked though was Suspiria.
Yeah, I think Casting castle is too close to casting couch.
That was the idea.
Yeah.
Like that guy he's like, oh yeah, that's right. We're casting for a movie too.
Yeah.
But then he just like,
maybe like the doll who appeared in dreams and was also real too sometimes.
Yeah. The hag mask is her mother, maybe?
The hag mask was her mom?
I don't know.
Just a couple of gaffes, Adam. When Tara is fighting off the killer, she grabs a piece of wood and batters her assailant with it. The piece of wood is way too light, showing it may be balsa, and it can't do any harm. It also sounds too light when Tara drops it. So it's just a prop. Who would have thought they would use a prop piece of wood instead of a real piece of wood, too?
Right. Yeah, I want to see that person bludgeoned to death for real.
No, come on. At the end of the film, the silhouette of a man holding a boom mic is visible on the left side of the screen when Patty is doing her comedy routine in the mental asylum. Some people said it was the doll holding the boom mic.
I think the boom mic wise in the very beginning in the office psychiatric hospital, there's a boom mic. It's got a yellow head, and you could see it.
Wow.
It was the third man in the room for a while.
Because my other gaffe is when Tara is trying to escape from the killer inside the prop house, she comes upon two doors with glass windows. At the very bottom left of the screen, a crew member can be seen sitting on the floor. So we've just got boom mics and crew members like, hey, what's up? The only thing we need to do are likes and dislikes. I'll just start with likes this time. We've got Trapped in a Snowy Lodge is a great setting. This is certainly more lived in than Ghost Keeper, and I think it is kind of a lived in film. As far as I love the set dressing, I love the way everything looks. Although I think the girls all had like very similar dresses and hairstyles. Like when they're sitting around the dinner table having the conversation, everything feels like it just feels very, I don't know, real. It feels very like the set is like really well done.
Yeah.
I like the prop house. I think that's a really cool way to like do a horror scene, and it kind of ties everything together, which is, when I say there's a great film here, the thematic things they touch on are good. Like it all makes sense. The doll, I have no idea what's going on with that. I'm okay that it doesn't. I don't need the answer to that question, whatever it is.
Yeah. Or 5 sequels.
Yeah.
Where the doll is getting married and in space.
And we figured it out. Oh, it turns out that it was Stryker's doll when he was a kid.
Right,
yeah. So all of that works. I think it's what they do well. They do really well in this movie. And then what doesn't. But this isn't even a film where what they do wrong is so bad. It's what they do wrong is just kind of like, oh, okay, well they could have done better, but it's still like it works. Well enough that I wasn't thrown off, and it moved at such a better pace than the previous film. I think by proxy, I was enjoying it a lot better.
I wonder
the pacing wasn't that off.
I wonder how often that happens with these movies, where we are like, we're more drawn to movie number 1 or movie number 2 because the other, you know what I mean? Because we're kind of like we're putting it up against that.
Yeah, that's
we're
fair.
spending 3 hours to watch 2 movies. It's like, boy, that was way easier than this last one.
Yeah, and there's probably some like bias there,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I will say though, I think when that does happen, we it's just because the first film is so bad. And honestly, I don't like, because Ghost Keeper, I don't think Ghost Keeper is a horrible film. Mm-hmm. I'll never watch it again. But I don't.
No.
But it's slow and it drags, and this film just doesn't. You can tell when a film doesn't, and once you get that breath of fresh air, after just sitting through one that is draining your life, I think I don't think we're off in this assessment. I don't think so either. I think Ghost Keeper is kind of trashy cinema. And this is a little bit elevated. I liked it more.
There's something about this movie where it's kind of I don't think it's the greatest whodunit I've ever seen. In fact, it's absolutely not. But it's it's making the attempt, and at least you're invested in to see, you really want to see Stryker die, and I'm really happy that he did. Though I will say a dislike for me is I wish that the the personalities of the ladies would have been more fleshed out, because they just all kind of felt like victims for the entirety of the movie. No, except for the one who wouldn't stop making jokes until she was a serious actress.
Yeah. Who also turned out to be the murderer.
You're right. But, if they could have had some more banter or gotten to know each other where they were like trying to protect each other, but that never really happened. It's just like, oh, now it's time for a skater to die. And now it's time for this person to, it's like, this is what we do and this is how we're going to die. And it's, I don't know.
Yeah, I think maybe trying to set the girls up a little bit differently with maybe different motivations. They were trying to, but it just wasn't as stark.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe this movie could benefit from having some really generic, like, oh, here's this type of person and this type of person. You know what I mean? Where it's just kind of like, it's almost, I don't know. Here's, I don't know, what's an archetype character? What's kind of or archetype? What's a...
Like a hippie?
Yeah, here's like hippie girl, and here's like stuck up girl, and they're maybe that would benefit, but I don't know. Maybe that would bring the film down a little bit.
Maybe.
More,
and I think that this movie was made like, they wanted to get away from the whole like teeny bopper slasher stuff, and it's like, so they stole directly from like Italian horror. Like they wanted it to be more like. Yeah,
because it's got like, it definitely, I feel like, it's got the Suspiria vibes to it, but. It's also funny that we keep giving the film props and then we immediately tear it down the next sentence.
Well, I think it's got some good and some bad. I mean, it's got some good points, but also, and again, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to take from other movies.
Yeah.
I think, there's only so many different movies you can make, so I get it, but it's hard not to watch Ghost House and think, oh yeah, I should watch The Shining again because that's a good movie.
Ghost Keeper.
Is that what I said?
You said Ghost House.
That's probably another movie.
I think that's the alt title. It's Ghost House.
I wanted to point out too with John Vernon, the sleazoid in this one.
Yeah.
So when he started talking, I'm like, I know this guy.
As soon as I saw him, I was like, I know this guy.
So I went back and researched, and the two things that really jumped out at me was he played Sherwood Crater. In Ernest Goes to Camp. He was like the evil developer guy. And he's like, I'm going to get you, Ernest. And then more than that, even though, he played, he was the voice of Rupert Thorne in Batman the Animated Series, the crime boss.
Okay.
And I can hear his voice in my head.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a very distinct voice, and I'm like, that's exactly what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. And I think, good actor.
Yeah.
He works well as a sleazeball in this film.
He does.
Anything you wanted to add, Adam, now that we are done with Curtains, 1983?
No, it was a fine movie. I don't foresee myself going back and watching it, but it was much better than Ghost.
I've heard
Keeper,
Ghost House, or Ghost Keeper. I've heard good things about Q, so I'm looking forward to watching that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a minute, but yeah.
And then I am just itching to watch another anthology, so I think The House That Dripped Blood will be a good one.
Yeah,
for that, and I'm hoping I can win next time so that I can choose both films.
Yeah, this is fun now.
is the goal. Yeah. All right. Thank you for listening to the podcast. I forgot to mention on the last one too. If you guys have corrections or anything, emails you want to send that you want me to read that are polite and PG rated and aren't cursing us out too much, you can send those to forgottenfrights@gmail.com. Otherwise, hang in there, and we will have another couple episodes shortly. So, thank you, and good night, and good fright.